I'd always heard just how amazing the historic racing scene is here in South Africa. You get massive crowds all out to catch a glimpse of some of SA's real legends of motorsport, going mirror to mirror in the real old classic cars of yesteryear. My first taste wasn't as a spectator on the wall, but I was actually behind the wheel, in the heat of battle, at the 12th annual Passion for Speed Festival held at Zwartkops Raceway. Peter de Toit had offered me a drive in one of his GSM Darts that was competing in the pre-66 Little Legends class, and what amazing racing it was. Look, I'll be honest, the thrill of qualifying in pole and leading out my first historic race was amazing, but as you can see from the footage, it was very short-lived, with seasoned campaigner Colin Ellison in his Alfa Guilietta Sprint making it very clear there is a massive difference between qualification and, of course, getting into the race. The cool thing about the Dart for me is that it comes with so much local history. The company GSM, or Glass Sport Motors, was founded back in 1958 by Willie Meisner, who my uncle Gordon Briggs actually used to race against, and Willie's partner Bob van Niekerk. They used the latest in technology back in those days, which was fiberglass, and this not only made the cars super light, but also very rigid, which was exactly what you wanted for a race car. With the help of designer Verster de Wit, the Dart was their first production model that went out. Back then they ran a variety of engines. You could have had the Coventry Climax, or they even used Ford Anglia engines, and some of them came in a hardtop guise as well, with a reverse slanted rear window, which is pretty much the exact model of car that you see me racing here in the festival. I had a few concerns. I was worried about a light body having lots of weight in the front. I thought, oh my word, I'm going to be pushing understeer all day long. But the handling was surprisingly neutral, and let me tell you, the car is very, very forgiving to drive. It handled like a bomb. But of course there were a couple of real quirky elements to the car as well. When you get into the driver's position, your feet are in channels, and kind of that's where they stay for the entire race. But for me, it only added to the experience, and that's, I guess, what makes historic racing so good. The Yellow Canary, at the end of the day, never ever put a foot wrong, and once I got to know the car and I'd settled into the races, Colin and I really had some classic battles. Look, getting past him was one thing, but then obviously being able to keep him behind me while having to negotiate back markers, well, that really kept me focused for both of the rounds that we raced that day. For me, this was without a doubt the best racing that I had ever experienced today. Massive crowds, just an unbelievable vibe in the paddock as well. So I guess this is what racing really should be all about. And for me, to be able to walk away with the double on the day, what can I say? It was pretty historic.